gentlemen, the Super Friendz show. And we do it like this.
Could you imagine they know who you are, living life like a Hollywood star? Could you imagine the fortune and fame, and everybody knows your name? Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Could you imagine?
So tell me, can you imagine? I have to say it, can you imagine? It's like what the main event is. Money like a new tenant, clean spitters like a new dentist. Stunt motherfuckers, we stuntin' like abused Lexus. Let's see, I think the advantage in fresh youth, so bless me. Luck is not a choice, go tell your bestie there's nothing you could do. We got IMP to impress you. On the beat we got skeprokzz the lecture. Make your soul sick in the mind, we're so sick of the mic killer. You oughta know, smart rappers you know nothing about this on the road. supahfriendz, Geronimo.
I can picture myself winning the Grammys. The family's guesses too, you know, studios in Miami. Make hits you can't get enough of, and after all that hate, we can't get enough love. Super friends, crack rap, you know that we bloomin' too. Take the shades off and smile to whoever we're cruising through. Who are you? Don't matter, bring your homegirl too. They wanna chill with the superheroes, ditch all those super zeros. Smoke and get high, no need for a plane, I fly. Break bread, evenly split slices of the pie. You get this, you get that. supahfriendz, where we at? High off life, flying across the map. Yeah.
Could you imagine they know who you are, living life like a Hollywood star? Could you imagine the fortune and fame, and everybody knows your name? Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Could you imagine?
Just imagine opening my eyes to a mansion. If you ask me, I wouldn't mind being stranded, overcoming NASA since the first day I landed. Even though the outcome didn't come out like you planned it, huh? Same old Louis, supahfriendz, what you think, huh? Just imagine spreading my wings on the canvas, no paintbrush, I draw with actions. Imagine living in MTV Cribs type fashion. Crack a Corona with your homies, get it crackin'. Celebrate cause anything can happen. Woo! 818 native, and I love rapping.
They imagine my name to be big, and I wish my fallen fathers could see this. I came up like a rose from the grave. No MTV, but we will get made. To the greatest, the latest, one of our favorites. Career in a hiatus. I wave high to all my haters. We the future, this rap shit, you can't outdate us. That's why we still here. True essence, what you fear here. I'm guessing you know it, we the shit here. My name is Regis, I wanna be a millionaire. I'm looking at the top till I'm there. Could you imagine they know who you are, living life like a Hollywood star? Could you imagine the fortune and fame, and everybody knows your name? Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Could you imagine they know who you are, living life like a Hollywood star? Could you imagine the fortune and fame, and everybody knows your name? Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Could you imagine?
Could you imagine us taking off? Could you imagine taking off? Could you imagine us taking off? Could you imagine taking off? Could you imagine us taking off? Could you imagine taking off? Could you imagine us taking off? Could you imagine taking off?